Hey everyone, welcome back to Ragtag Stacking. In today's video, I want to talk about some more news that is coming up about different states that are looking to get rid of the sales tax on precious metals. So I've done some previous videos on this. I have seen some other states looking to drop it, and I believe the last one I did, I think it was Arkansas, became the latest state to get rid of the taxes altogether. I believe in total that makes 42 states that either have full or at least partial exemption on the sales tax for precious metals, and that leaves the remaining 8 out there that are either looking to get it done or still just content with having those sales taxes there. I live up in Canada, so it's not really affecting me too much, and I don't know the specifics of each individual state that does have the additional tax on it. I do see that there is a threshold that needs to be met. I'm not sure exactly what it is. If it's the weight, if you get over a certain weight in precious metals or a certain number on your total purchase, but I have seen that people are talking about in California and New York, for example, if you reach a certain threshold, you have to pay it. Or maybe I'm getting it wrong, that unless you reach the threshold, you have to pay it. It's one of those two. But I have seen a lot of people in the comments talking about I think it's up to 8% I've seen in some places that, you getting tacked on top of your purchase with those sales tax. So getting into today's video, I'm going to show you a couple of articles here. I'm not going to read through all of them completely, but it's just talking about there's 3 states here that you'll see that are either looking to introduce it and get it approved or looking to extend it because the exemption is looking to, or is going to be running out fairly soon. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump onto the computer and just go over some of these articles talking about the different states that are looking to do this. Okay, so this is the article here. It's on moneymetals.com, and it says Mississippi legislators introduce several pro-sound money measures. And then jumping down, he says, one of the states that are still taxing real money is hoping to do something about it. So this is being brought, this bill is being brought up and introduced by Representative Ford and Representative Hopkins. And then jumping down here into under current law, Mississippi citizens are discouraged from ensuring their savings against the devaluation of the dollar because they are penalized with taxation for doing so. So getting down here into some of the important reasons why they're looking to get rid of this tax altogether. It says levying sales tax on precious metals is inappropriate. Sales taxes are typically levied on final consumer goods. Computers, shirts, shoes carry sales tax because the consumer is consuming the good. Precious metals are inherently held for resale, not consumption, making the application of sales tax on precious metals inappropriate. And the next one is studies have shown that taxing precious metals is an inefficient form of revenue collection. The results of the study involving Michigan show that any sales tax precedes a state collection on precious metals are likely surpassed by the state revenue lost from conventions, businesses, and economic activity that are driven out of state. So yes, like I said in the beginning, I think it's 42 states are now tax-free or are in the process of becoming tax-free. They have things like this that are proposed, and it looks like they're going that way. But it's a big majority of the states that don't have the taxes levied on it. So for some people, it might be easier to just drive that 3 hours across the border. Maybe take a day trip down there, get a B&B, Airbnb, or a hotel or whatever. If you're looking at making your precious metals purchases without extra tax, as I said, you can just there are plenty of ways to do it if you are living in a state that currently still imposes the taxes on there. And then continuing, it says, the harm is exacerbated when you consider that many of Mississippi's neighbors, Alabama and Louisiana, have already stopped taxing gold and silver, and Arkansas and Tennessee are considering their own sales tax exemptions for precious metals this year. Yes, I believe it was Arkansas was the last video that I made talking about a state that's looking to get rid of the state tax. So I think they are the 42nd and last one currently that are looking to completely drop the sales tax. And then continuing down here, it says taxing gold and silver harms in-state businesses. Like I was saying, it is quite easy for some people to just jump across the border to a state that doesn't have it to make their purchases. It's a competitive marketplace, so buyers will take their business to neighboring states such as Alabama or Louisiana. It says thereby undermining Mississippi jobs. Levying sales tax on precious metals harms in-state businesses who will lose business to out-of-state precious metals dealers. Investors can easily avoid paying $136 in sales tax, for example, on a 1-ounce gold bar. And a couple more of the bullet points here. It says taxing precious metals is unfair to certain savers and investors. We've gotten the gist of that from some of the article there. And then going down here, it says taxing precious metals is harmful to citizens attempting to protect their assets. Kind of, along the same lines as the savers and investors. The taxing the precious metals will, take that chunk out of people that are attempting to protect their assets as well. So this was Mississippi. This was something that I wanted to. I'm going to show you a few articles here, and I will leave a link in the description to all of them. I skimmed over most of it just because you get the idea. But this was Mississippi, looking to introduce the several pro sound money measures, and then I want to show you another state here. And we're talking about one of Mississippi's neighbors. Here's Alabama, and it says Alabama to consider extending popular sales tax exemption on sound money. So Alabama's already been going through this, and they seem to already have some things in place, and now they're just looking to increase that instead of repealing it and just bringing it back. Maybe they're looking to extend this stuff. So it says Alabama currently exempts precious metals from sales tax. However, the exemption is set to expire in 2022. So that's the extending. So yes, it seems like it will be up this year, and it appears that Alabama has enjoyed the exemption, and that's why they're looking to extend it. Probably because they have seen the benefits that we're talking about in Mississippi, where if the state doesn't exempt it, you'll be losing out to people that are just going to be going out of state. So this is a really clear example with Alabama looking to extend it, that it has worked for them. They've noticed that obviously they're keeping people in state that are looking for precious metals, and it's a good thing here that Alabama is looking to re-up on something that obviously has been beneficial to them. Like I said, I'll leave a link in the description if you want to read through it here, but just going through one of the bullet points here, it says levying sales taxes on precious metals is inappropriate. So I've basically just read that stuff in the Mississippi one, so I'm not going to go through the entirety of this article. I just wanted to show you that this state here, Alabama, has already gotten rid of the sales tax, and now they're looking to extend that into the future because it's set to expire in 2022. So yes, I talked about neighboring states with Mississippi and Alabama. So with this article, we're just going to go a little north to Virginia, and it's another state that currently has this exemption on the sales tax. But just like, just like Alabama, theirs is set to expire in 2023. So they have a little bit more time than Alabama, because Alabama's expires this year. They didn't say if it was, in the summer or coming up, in a month or so, but they did say that 2022 is when it was set to expire. So Virginia does have a little bit more wiggle room here to work with, where theirs is being expired in 2023. So yes, just like with the southern states down there, it's good to see that a state that already has this exemption in place is looking to re-up it and continue it, because they're at risk of it lapsing. They're at risk of it not being exempted. So they're already looking to involve these measures to make sure that that doesn't happen. And again, link in the description, but you can already see that the first bullet point basically is the exact same as the other two articles. Levying sales taxes on precious metals is inappropriate. So you get the gist that, a lot of this stuff is just going to be regurgitated or reiterating the stuff in the other two. But again, if you want to go through and do the hat trick, read all three of them, that's up to you. But I just thought this is something that I wanted to make a video on, just seeing that these three states all in order popped up on Money Metals here, talking about they are looking to at least continue their exemption or looking to get the exemption in the first place. And what was it? Mississippi? Mississippi was the state that was looking to do it, and I believe that will make them the 43rd state to do it, because I think it's just 8 states that don't have any exemption, and I believe it's 42 that have complete or partial exemption at the current time of recording. So there you go. That's what I wanted to show you there. It's good to see that Mississippi is taking the step to get rid of these taxes, and it's also good to see that Alabama and Virginia are looking to extend it because they liked the way that things were rolling when they were having it. And it says that I believe Alabama's runs out in 2022. And Virginia's runs out in 2023. So yes, they do still have a little bit of time to make sure they get that exemption for their state, because like I said, the word showed in the articles there that having the exemption on sales tax definitely helps to keep a lot of business in state. Yes, if you still live in one of these states that don't have the exemption on the sales tax, I'm sure you're not buying a bulk of your stack or a bulk of your precious metals in that state. I'm sure that, especially if you live far, like I said in the video, you might make a trip out of it, stay in the night, whatever it is, if you do need to travel a couple of hours to get there. If it's worth your time, if it's worth your money, then I'm sure you're doing it. Yeah, I'd like to hear from you if you do happen to live in one of those states. And if you live in either, Alabama and Virginia, I'd like to hear from you if you're on the other end of the spectrum and you think they shouldn't continue the exemption. I've gone over examples here of why it's a good thing. There haven't really been too many opinions or pieces that I've seen pop up talking about why they should reinstall it or not continue the exemption. There are still 8 states that are doing it, so we can talk about the benefits and everything like that, but there are still some states that just, they can see what we're looking at and they still look at that and say, no, we're good with keeping the sales tax on there. So I'm not sure what the next thing will be to convince those other states that are still, obviously on the fence or firmly entrenched on their side. So yeah, it'll be interesting in the next couple of months to see if there are any other states that are looking to change their mind or change their position and flip into the tax exemption status for their states on precious metals. But yeah, like I said, that's it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And yeah, as I said, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys come back for the next one. Thank you.